Hey there, riders. So we got ourselves an unusual one for us today. Today, we're working on my daughter's car. My daughter's car is a 2005 Kia Spectra5. And it is spray painted pink. Now, if you don't know the story about this, I'll just give you a little bit of the background. Years ago, my father-in-law purchased this car over in North Carolina. It was pink. Belonged to someone in their 20s or so. Today is dealing with timing. Now, here's the kicker. I've taken this over to a mechanic, Grand Valley, a mechanic shop right across the street from Grand Valley University, where my daughter happens to be on. Seems like every single time she tried, not every single time, when the car wouldn't start, the timing was off. Now, just to let you know, about a year ago, I had replaced the timing belt on here. Everything meshed up the way it was supposed to. No problems. It was a timing belt. It was running before and it was running afterwards. Timing was not off. There was no tooths off. Nothing. Come to about a month, 2 months back, which I get a call from my daughter telling me that her car's not working. So I go ahead and take a look at it. It's like, okay, cylinder 2 and cylinder 3 are misfiring. It's got to be the ignition coil. So I replaced the ignition coil. Still the car won't start. I checked the ignition coil prior, and it got spark. This is why I keep it inside my parts. Then I changed the throttle positioning sensor because I got flashed with the code on that. I'm like, okay, let's replace that. One thing I couldn't do over at the university parking lot, at her dorm room, was be able to check the timing on her. Didn't have the maneuverability that I needed. Didn't have the space that I needed. So we figure, if the timing's off or something's not right, then we'll go ahead and take it over to a mechanic. Well, the mechanic gets it. 4 days later, tell me that the timing's off. 180 degrees. So that doesn't really make sense. What would cause that? And he says, well, if the timing wasn't done right, that would do it. It's like, okay. Got my authorization to do the repairs. Probably about 4 days after her having the car back from mechanic, damn thing wouldn't start. I go through the paces, diagnosing, ignition coil, read the codes, tells me that 2 and 3 cylinders are misfiring. It's like, this is not right. So we have it towed back over to the auto mechanic place. And they tell me that the camshaft phaser, which is this, and it goes on the camshaft, was bad. Like, okay. It's going to be about $400 and $300. Like, holy shit. Plus labor. Because then I got to adjust the timing again and go from there. Probably about 3 weeks after having the vehicle, same damn thing happened again. Car's not starting up. I know the ignition coil's good. What are the chances of that? But I double check, take a look, got spark. Tells me cylinder 2 and cylinder 3 are misfiring. Giving me the trouble codes PO302 and PO303. Like, what the hell is going on? Going with the knowledge that the mechanic had told me about the phase cam, the cam phaser is what they call it. Apparently it's an intricate part of the, let's see, let's get this right, variable valve timing. And when you do replace the phaser, it is also highly recommended that you replace the oil control valve or test the oil control valve. So I went ahead and tested it. It was within specs. The ohms that I got on it was what it was supposed to be, which was 7.3. The range in which you want is somewhere between 6.7, depending on the manufacturer. And they listed a whole bunch of manufacturers, so I went with the average, which was 6.7 ohms to 7.8 ohms. Everything checked out. One thing that didn't seem to work was the oil control valve. Same thing in which I tested. It wasn't fluctuating. It was like it was supposed to. So I went ahead, cleaned it out. Now it plunges in and out like it's supposed to. With an ohm reading, you wouldn't have been able to tell that. Voltage reading, you would be able to tell. Even though it's still going inside there, you wouldn't be able to tell unless you actually pull it off, which is what you have to do, and take a look at it. So I went ahead and did that. But perchance, it's like, you know what? I don't want to continue to go on through that. That's a $20 part. That's fine. I don't mind if I have to replace that down the road. But the one thing I don't want to replace is having to replace the cam phaser. So today, this morning, when they opened up, I went down to LKQ. I went through, looked at the vehicles over there. They happened to have a Kia Spectra5 there. Thing was, is they didn't really have a lot of Kias. They had a Kia Flex, I think it was called. Anyways, I picked up 2 more. Now my chance, when I went to go check out, I was waiting in line. The poor cashier, I felt real bad for him, because this one guy wanted him to pull the tires off, put the rims. He wanted only the rims, but they didn't allow him to be able to pull the tires themselves off. So the cashier waved me through, wished me a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays. I was about ready to say, what about Hanukkah? Those who know, know. Those who don't, take a look at some of the people in which I follow on YouTube. You'll get it. So, I now had 2 free parts plus miscellaneous bolts to be able to go ahead and take a look. But the first thing what I'm going to do is check the timing on here, which I have not done yet. In fact, I spent probably about half an hour after getting home just setting up so that way I can get to all the things. And I've discovered that the mechanic beforehand decided to rip off some of the shrouds and not put them back on like he was supposed to. So now areas in which need to be protected aren't protected. And because I didn't pull the tire off before I went down to LKQ, guess who's got to go down to LKQ again in order to get a replacement part? And just to let you know, I did take a look at that part, and that was on that vehicle in which I was looking at. So I am in good shape for that. Maybe I'll get another free part. And just also, the kicker was going down to LKQ, because I go down there so many times in order to get various parts and such. Because I'm a member and I signed up for them, I got a free pass, which was good to the end of this month. Yay! It was good till December 31st of 2020. And it being, oh god, I hate dates. It's a Saturday. How about that? It's a Saturday today, so that's what I'll be doing. But one of the things in which I had to prepare is I had to go down to Harbor Freight. All I had was electric heater. So that noise that you're hearing inside the background, that's actually from my propane heater in which I got. just per chance, this week they had a $10 off any propane heater, top mount heater. And of course, Harbor Freight only has 2 of those. They got a double, which does 30 BTU, 30K BTUs. Then they had the single, which only does 15K BTUs. Being a small garage, a single stall garage, 15K was more than enough. But I was trying to get it past my wife, in which I needed one that had the power blower on it, and 30 to 60K. That didn't work. And that didn't have a $10 coupon. That would have cost 75 bucks. So now, with the garage door open, this is currently what I'm doing. I'll show you a little bit more here. I've done some of the work, so that way I've done some of the removal. It's tedious. No sense of having to document that for you. This will probably end up being a multi-part video once again. Sorry. So let's get to this. As you can see, I've got the vehicle jacked up. I got a hydraulic jack in the front. I got a stand jack on the back. We're gonna have to remove this. We gotta remove a lot of things just for us to be able to just see where the timing marks are at on this thing. We also gotta remove the shroud, so I gotta spend my time doing that. I got belts in which I'm gonna have to remove tensioners and stuff like that. This part is a pain, but we want to get down to the nitty-gritty of this, of checking the timing. So I'm not going to bore you with that. Instead, I just wanted to show you in which I had to work with here. Like I said, there was a shroud that's supposed to go here. In fact, there's supposed to be like a U shape, and only in which you can see on that. Then it gets mounted in a couple of places around here. And take a look at this little baby filter that's on there as well. Look at that thing. Look at that cute little filter. Look at the cute little filter. There's a small little filter. That's smaller than my motorcycle. So this right here is my little makeshift area. Considering how close I am to the vehicle. Pinky. Hi, Pinky. No, the brain's not here. You've been a bad girl. You keep breaking down on your master. That's not good. We made you. We made you. Guess which movie quote that came from? Put it inside the comments section. I'll love to hear what you got to say. In order to be able to get to the bottom, in order to get to it, you got this plastic shroud here that covers up the timing belt. In order to do that, you got to remove the mounts here, the engine mount, or the little bracket that goes across. You got 2 brackets that go across. Got this one first. Goes at the bottom. You got this one, in which goes at the very top. It's held down by 2 nuts and a bolt. Well, 3 nuts. Now, one of the things that you can do is actually remove this from here if you want, as it's not connected to anything. But you happen to have a series of bolts in which you actually have to remove the reserve for the power steering pump just to get to this. Now, in the past, I haven't had to do this. I've been able to get my hand inside there, maneuver my way, wrench it as much as possible. But because of this, I'm not going to be able to record like what I would like to. So all I can do is show you the after shots. So we'll go from there. This is one of the things in which I discovered while I'm working on the car. Now, when I last worked on this vehicle, it took me a while in order to find all 4 of these bolts because they fell down. Now, there's only 3 freaking bolts on here. That's not good. We need to have at least, you can operate with 3, that's fine. But I prefer to operate with 4 so that way there's an equilibrium going on. I don't know what the hell this mechanic was doing. I don't really care what the hell this mechanic was doing. But one of the things that you have to do is you got to pull off all these belts off of the damn car. And unfortunately, this mechanic did a half-ass job. I'm getting very, very pissed. With the money that I pay, I expect all the parts to go on, and if they break parts, they got to cover the parts in which they break, especially when it comes to stuff in which shouldn't get broken. At least that's the way I see it. As you can see, I pulled off the power steering bolt. That's right here. I pulled off the mount right here. The reservoir is moved over here, out of the way. Alternator has been loosened up. I loosened up the nut on here. So that way, gotta do what I gotta do. Next one is the air conditioner. Yeah, the air conditioner belt. To get access to that, you gotta go underneath, and there's a pulley on here. Thank God they thought of that. In which you just loosen up the belt on here. As you can tell, there's a nut right here that is just used to loosen up. I believe it's a 10mm. It could be 11mm. But you go in one direction to loosen up, another direction to tighten it. As you can tell, I got the damn thing off. So now I'm gonna start removing all this plastic cover here. And just to let you know, the mechanic didn't put all the bolts on. Once again. Alright, I want you to notice something here. This is the timing mark on your crankshaft. This is the timing mark in which it has to be marked on the body here. Alright, you can tell that they put a white mark on there. Marked it up. In fact, I got this about as close in which I can. You got tensioners on here and such, in which will be able to allow it. Now, we're going to go topside and take a look at the camshaft. Now notice, this is the timing mark in which they have here. This is the timing mark in which it's supposed to go. This is also the timing mark, which allows you to be able to get a good idea exactly where it's at. You can tell this is off by 180 degrees. So as you can tell, they mark these chains white. Well, they mark the chain white. They have it over in two areas in which they have the marks at. I'm not going to make the change right now because I want the crankshaft to stay where it's at. But it tells me that the timing is completely off. So I'm going to have to pull the belt off, ease the tensioners up, pull the belt off, get it in position properly, then put the belt back on there. And see if that aligns the chains in the proper markings. The timing now is exact. I put the bottom cover on, and I'm in the place of putting on that the pulley as well. I made sure that it looked like the timing marks are dead on in the back. Timing is dead on. So it's now the point of assembling everything back together, and torquing everything to specific specifications. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you standing there. Yep, I'm just about ready to... Well, I've connected the negative terminal. I got everything else torqued down to specs. There's not a loose bolt on here. Wires are put together, and now go ahead and now we're just going to go ahead and start this thing up. See exactly what happens. Wife's afraid that the car won't start. We'll see. Well, I guess she's got every reason to be afraid. Now, let's go take a look, run a diagnostic, see what happens. Carry too many damn keys on me. You could have told me I forgot the keys. Normally I'd smell gas, but I'm not smelling gas. I'm not getting any codes. It's quite perplexing. I'm not liking this. Not liking this at all. Usually when the vehicle runs, you get codes. Only when it runs. it keeps telling me it passed. My daughter gets my wife's car, and my wife gets a new car. So next time, folks, this is Wild Rider, and as always, ride safe, and I'll see you on the next ride.